Hi everyone, this is Aisha Babar and I'm doing my master's in project management from Ravensbourne University, and today I'm going to discuss about my assignment project of subject principle of project management. The topic that I have chosen for my project is the planning and delivering of a university based charity fundraising event for educational equity. So first of all, I'm going to discuss about the project scope statement, and this is a project for a governance led plan of a non-profit fundraising event engineered in favor of educational equity at Ravensbourne University, London, on the set date of Monday, 14th April 2025, per the brief. This fundraising program is meant for an educational resources fund and whereby support for underprivileged children, which will be directed toward the use of books and supplies and scholarship funds. And then we have discussed about the proposed format is educational equity gala plus silent auctions integrating and ticket sales, sponsored contribution and auction and donations mechanism, since according to Sargent and Shang, this combined structure would generate higher net processed than events where only ticket sales are used as a revenue sources. And then the context and social relevance of this project are thus fully justified in the UK, particularly in terms of establishing relevant payments to educational disadvantages. Even government reported indicators of attaining and disadvantages students show only marginal improvement between 2022 and 2023, and this is 3.92 and 3.94 something, indicating that the disadvantages linked outcomes are entrenched. Department for Education 2025. And then the event, which is going to be held on campus to minimize the fixed cost and the maximized net cash raised, and unqualified requirements in the brief, will be in the Walker space and appropriate on campus venue. And then as you see, the smart objective and targets. So in objectives we have cross funds raised, net to charity ratio, attendance and satisfaction. And then target by the gross fund raised is £20,000 and the net to charity ratio is 70% net, and the attendance is 250 attendance, and the certification and in target by 14 April to 2025 is success measure. And then we have the income recognition, audited incomes via scores, ticketing plus door counts and post event survey. And then we have project team and leadership point. We are going to discuss about this. The portfolio adopts a situational leadership approach as time bound events juxtapose predictable planning work with great volatility in the late stage of the project. For example, supplier slippage, sponsor negotiation, and attendance uncertainty. The controlled application of situational leadership encourage a shift from participative planning to more directive decision making at readiness gates, enforcing schedule discipline on the one hand and ownership of the risk on the other hand. Just the consistent practical application of tools and methodology which characterize a distinction level project. The PM approach is lived within the conform of artifacts required by the brief WBS schedule, Gantt and RACI, such that leadership is manifested within governance rather than any professional opinion. The assignment requires a team of 6 imaginary members with the project manager, thus reflecting the brief, a project manager, integration and decision gates, and then finance and compliance lead, and then it's marketing ticketing lead, and then operation and venue lead, and stakeholder and sponsorship risk and quality lead risk. So the a matrix team structure is adopted because it fits the brief's operational assumptions that Raven's in-house compatibility can be leveraged without salary allocations, while external services must be costed separately. This structure increase functional expertise access, and while and centralized project control is preserved through a single accountable owner per work package and formal escalation rules embedded in the communication plan. So the third point we are going to discuss is project resource and task allocation. Effective resource and task allocation is the very lifeline which would pull the charity fundraising event off within the fixed time, cost, and scope constraints defined in the project brief. The section illustrates a structured plan application of core project management tools that provide the work breakdown structure, a project schedule, Gantt logic, and RACI metrics, thereby addressing DO4 and the technical competence criteria in the marketing rubric. The next point is work breakdown structure. So the deliverable oriented work breakdown structure from PMBOK is utilized to break down the project guidance that directs the WBS to focus on end results rather than process, since this is the better way of controlling the project scope and holding it accountable. The WBS is set up under 5 phases of the project: lifestyle, initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closure. Each work package has a responsible role assigned to it so that a clear track exists between scope, schedule, and cost estimates. So the next charity fundraise event project is you see the work breakdown structure here in the report. And the next point we have is project schedule. The project schedule transforms the approved work breakdown structure into a time phase dependency driven plan covering the period from February 2025 up to April 2025, where the delivery is fixed on 14th April 2025 as per the project brief. The plan thus crafted shall be realizable with a deadline not subject to negotiation, but again it very strictly control cost, quality and risk. Activities being scheduled should in accordance to established project management practice to be logically sequenced so as to be able to identify the critical path, which is defined as the set of tasks which directly determines the completion date of the project. And then you see the project schedule overview in the like table form. In this you see the project charter approval, venue confirmation, scope, risk and budget planning, marketing material, sponsorship, event delivery, financial recognition. The critical path goes through venue confirmation, launch, marketing, sponsorship confirmation, final readiness review and event delivery. And then we have next point that is and the next point is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is operationalizing the project schedule because it organizes all tasks, time frames, dependence into a single visual timeline covering February April 2025 with the culmination on project delivery event of April 14 2025 being a fixed constant as stated in the project brief. The chart is directly derived from the approved work breakdown structure and project schedule, ensuring internal consistency across all planning facts. The Gantt chart depicts sequential as well as paralleled activities, scope definitions, risk planning and budget development, and then our planning activities to be completed at the earliest, while marketing and sponsorship will be done concurrently to optimize time without an increased risk of delivery. Venue confirmation, marketing initiation, supplier lock-in, and final readiness review comprise the clear identification of critical milestones, thus constituting the critical path of the project. And the next point is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is operationalizing the project schedule because it organizes all tasks, time frequencies, dependence into a single visual timeline covering February April 2025 with the culmination on project delivery event of April 14, 2025 being a fixed constant as stated in the project brief. The chart is directly derived from the approved work breakdown structure and project schedule, ensuring internal consistency across all planning on facts. The Gantt chart depicts sequential as well as paralleled activities, scope definitions, risk planning and budget development, and then our planning activities to be completed at the earliest, while marketing and sponsorship will be done in concurrently to optimize time without an increased risk of delivery. Venue confirmation, marketing initiation, supplier lock-in, and final readiness review comprise the clear identification of critical milestones, thus contributing the critical path of the project. This is also a baseline schedule for monitoring and control purpose. Each week performance will be compared with the Gantt baseline so that any delay can be discovered and remedial actions take quickly. Indeed, this is a very good visual control mechanism especially for short duration projects, even based on event, as most late stage recovery options are quite limited. The Gantt chart task structure is also shown in the report file. You also see this in my report. And then we have next point, that is RACI matrix. A responsibility assignment matrix is used to clarify accountability and responsibility across all major project tasks. This is particularly important in event-based project where compressed timeline and multiple stakeholder increased coordination risk. The matrix ensure that the project manager remains accountable for overall delivery while functional leads, thereby avoiding role overload and demonstrating governance maturity. And now we have project communication plan. Effective communication is critical in managing stakeholder expectations within a fixed date university event. The communication strategy is structured around regular reporting, audience specific managing, and clear escalation protocols to ensure transparency and rapid issue resolution. So now we also have the table that is show communication schedule, which explain all things about that. Stakeholders are mapped using a power interest framework with high power stakeholders. And then we have the point, that is project quality plan. Quality management focus on both process compliances and stakeholder experience. Recognizing the success in a charity event is defined not only by delivery but also by legitimacy and trust. And then we have the quality standards and matrices. The next point is project risk plan. Risk management follow a probability impact approach, prioritizing risk that could compromise the fixed event date or reputational standing of the university. The risk register extract table show everything about that as you can see, the low ticket sale, medium, high, all the points that you see in the table is mentioned here. Okay, the key performance indicators point. Key performance indicators are selected to support active control, not post evaluation. Performance is reviewed weekly with predefined threshold triggering corrective actions. And the key performance indicators table also show everything about that on the report. Project finance estimation and cost estimation methods. A bottom-up estimation approach is used, supported by expert judgment and market benchmarking. This method is appropriate for short duration projects where costs are discrete and suppliers derive. And the cost breakdown structure table is also mentioned here, you see in the report. And then we have cost justifications. All costs are based on market rates and indicated supplier quotation. The contingency reserve is included to handle uncertainties and inflationary pressure and avoid arbitrary cost allocations. The financial viability, targeting £15,000 for fundraising with total estimated cost of £5,200. This has a project note contribution of 9,800, demonstrating its strong financial viability in achieving its charitable purpose. And the last point is conclusion. The portfolio demonstrate the systematic and holistic applications of project management principles to a live charity fundraising event within the context of the university. An effective project can be driven by value through the coherent definition of scope, tight control of schedule, clear governance, risk management, and financial discipline. The planning artifacts provide evidence of professional level competence, fully meeting the learning outcomes of the module. Thank you so much for watching my video, and all references are also mentioned at the end of my report. And for explanation of charts and tables, you also see my report that fully explain everything. So yeah, that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much.